There were some photos where we did have our logo, but it was off to the side, and that's easily, you can easily put a little emoji or a little heart off in the corner to cover up your brand. So going forward, we're just going to have our brand logo be front and center with those.
Yeah, just be everywhere. We are back with another video, and today's video is a different one because we're going to talk about that time someone copied us word for word and stole all our pictures and tried to put their own brand name on it. And on this video, we are going to talk about how we found out about that, our reaction to it when we saw everything, what we did to help protect our company, and what we are going to do moving forward when it comes to protecting our company from something like that from happening again, and also advice for you guys to prevent this from happening to yourselves. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Jerica.
And I'm Kale.
And we are co-owners of Quench, which is a soap and bath bomb company. And on this channel, we talk all about our business and how we make our products, how we sell them, and things like this that can happen to businesses like yourselves. And if that's something that you're interested in, maybe you are also an owner of a company similar to ours, maybe almost exactly like ours, then keep watching. As this channel started to grow, I never thought in my wildest dreams that I would run into a situation like this. Although looking back, it's almost inevitable that something like this would happen. And the way I was able to find out was actually from a viewer who sent me an email late one night, and when I read it, my heart just stopped. And originally I thought it wasn't going to be as bad as what I thought it was. I've heard of so many different companies that are copying other companies, but it's not word for word exactly, or maybe their scents are different, or maybe their product lines are a little different. But this was scary. It was almost like they had lifted my entire website and created it to be their own, with their own brand name on it. So that was super, super shocking.
Yeah, after Jerica found out, she called me over, and I was looking at the computer screen, and it was just literally our company with a different logo. And it really took me a couple seconds to have it sink in and be like, this is somebody else. This isn't just some weird glitch in the algorithms of the websites or something like this. This is somebody else's page. And so we'll get into the specifics of what was exactly the same, but everything just looked exactly like our page.
So just a disclaimer, we are not going to say the name of the company here or the person that did this. We just feel that since they have decided to take everything down, that's not necessary, and we really want the whole issue to die with this video, and we don't want to address it ever again. But here's what they did. I typed in the name of their company into Google, and immediately their website popped up. And when I clicked it, I was shocked. The first thing I saw was their banner, and the main picture in that banner on their website was my sugar scrubs. And it was a picture that I'd taken and put on Instagram. So that was shocking to see that. But as I scrolled down, it started to get more and more scary, because right underneath that was a little blurb about their company, and it was exactly what I wrote about my company. And if you scrolled even further down, it was literally beat for beat what I wrote for my products on my website. The words lifted exactly as they were, and on their product listings they had stolen a few pictures from my website and used it for their own products. And they didn't stop there. They actually had the same exact scents and the same exact scent names. There was literally nothing original about this company and what they did, except for their company name was different. Even their logo was a little bit similar, and the brand tagline was exactly what I had written for my brand tagline. And I have to give them credit. Not all the pictures on that website were mine. A few of them were theirs. And you can see that this person actually did create products, and they had the talent to make soap and all of the other things that I made. But their branding was exactly like mine. I like to saran wrap my soaps. Theirs was saran wrapped. I use a clear sticker to put the company name and all the information on the soap. Theirs looked exactly like that. It was pretty much an exact copycat of my branding, my brand concept. Oh, I forgot to mention, their highlighted ingredient was hemp seed oil as well. So it was literally the exact same thing.
Yeah, some of the things that Jerica talked about aren't necessarily exclusive to us, but the things that was just really disheartening was all of the write-ups that Jerica spent so much time making up that was just word for word copied. And one of the things that we're growing up with when we're writing is if you use somebody's words, you cite your sources, and there was just none of that.
Exactly. The product listings were the exact same. I wrote a very quirky type of description for my French lavender soap. They put the same thing for their lavender soap. My product notes were exactly the same, and my ingredients were the exact same. And this person even took the code on the website. So let me backtrack a little bit. On Shopify, I use a free website template, and it's the Brooklyn template. It's a gorgeous template if you're thinking about using Shopify as your e-commerce platform for selling things online. I recommend the Brooklyn theme. It's so gorgeous, but this theme is limited. There are things you have to do to customize it to be a certain way. And I had done all the research to do that, and my product listings were such that you can play around with them and get a particular type of order. They had that same coding in their product listings, and they didn't stop there. Okay, for curiosity's sake, I clicked their About Us section. Our origin story was identical. Apparently they started to use hemp seed oil because their one soap, lemon shandy soap, that had hemp seed oil in it was so much better than their other soaps, which is exactly what our story is. But it was weird because they actually didn't even have a lemon shandy soap on their line. So it was just another level of laziness that I'd never seen before.
Yeah, and things like that will come out if you're not being genuine. You're just going to be exposed in some way or another. I mean, that's truly our story. You could see us any day of the week, and we'll give you that same kind of origin stories, whether it's at a farmer's market or online.
Little things that you could easily change because, I mean, I'm me, and you're Kale. So if I were to have a selection of colors for a button on the website, I feel like my choice would be so different from yours, and even that was the same. I chose my buttons to be yellow, and theirs were yellow. So it was literally like the only thing they had to change was their brand name. But I think what did it for me was the fact that their scent names were exactly the same too. All of their scent names were all scent names that I selected for my own products.
Yeah, you can have the same scent, but
yeah.
I would just...
Yeah, I mean, I can't stop anyone from having the same fragrances as I do, but it's just so weird to see someone with a French lavender, a grapefruit sunrise, and a mango papaya on their line. It's just all similar. There's nothing different that they've added to their line. There's nothing unique to them. It was all lifted from my product line and my scents. So that was just extremely weird because I would think about them going to my soap suppliers and selecting the scents, and there's literally hundreds of scents you can choose from, and you have to make a deliberate choice to find exactly the scents that I've used. And this person actually did pick scents that I have named in my videos, and they built their product line around that. I'm just really glad that I didn't reveal everything because I feel like they would have copied more if they had the chance to. So after we looked around their website and just got over our shock at how insanely similar it was, from there we went to their social medias, and the same issue was there, only it was more pictures that they copied. There was their Instagram where we had a few pictures that they took from our social media. Yeah,
many of the pictures were of the ones that Jerica's taken herself in our room, which she's had a video showing. But the eeriest part was when we would see pictures of our own hands holding the products. You'd be able to see Jerica's hand. You'd be able to see Jerica's wedding ring.
My ring is in a lot of those pictures.
In their photos. There was a picture with my hand where it was all, I'm holding a soap and it's all sudsy, and we specifically remember taking that picture, and it's weird just seeing your own body parts or you on a social media page which you have not kind of consented or agreed to be onto.
So it's like you felt super violated. So I take a lot of my pictures with my right hand because I'm right-handed, and I'm holding a lot of my products, and you can see this ring. in a lot of those pictures. So like Hale said, just seeing that on someone else's social media and them passing it off as their own products, as their own pictures is just so weird, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely a violation. Yeah.
Yeah.
I compare it to when growing up, I remember my parents' house was broken into, so similar feelings to that.
Same icky feeling. Yes, and just like their website, their captions were almost identical to what I wrote, and their hashtags were all stolen from my social media too. There was literally no level of creativity. And then you also have to think about the people who are drawn to this company and follow them because they think that these pictures are their products, or they think that the bath bomb that this hand is holding is something that this person is actually selling to them. So there's that level of ickiness too, that they're selling something under false pretenses, basically false advertising. And that's not a good thing to do either. I mean, in all of this, I think that's what I was the most uncomfortable with, was that people are using my product photos to sell something that they have made. So like I said, you could make very similar products, but it's only you really who can make it your own unique design and make it look exactly the way it looks. So when someone else tries to copy that, it's not going to look the same. When they sell it to someone, it's not going to be the same thing that's in the picture. So I felt really bad for their customers, and you can tell from the few places that I found that they were selling things already and already making money from my pictures and my branding. So after we finished looking at everything, I felt so angry. Like we mentioned, disgusted, gross. We felt violated, that someone had stolen these things from us that we had worked so hard on. And the first thing I did was write an email filled with everything that I wanted to say to this person. And it was the most unprofessional email where I just let out all of my emotions in my notes app. And I didn't do anything with it after that. I just wrote it all out, and I decided to go to bed that night, because I know that when it comes to sending emails to anybody, you do not want to do that while you're angry and when you're in the heat of the emotion. And I figured if I still feel this way in the morning, then at least I'm not as heated as I was when I first discovered it, and maybe I can move forward with a more level head. That's what I did. I went to bed, and then the next morning I drafted a much more professional, short email that didn't have any of the emotion in it, just asking them to take my photos down and to change their verbiage on their website and social medias. And almost immediately after I sent that email, this person took down their Etsy shop, which they also had an Etsy shop, and they began taking images down from their Instagram that had my photos in it. So that was really encouraging to see. And as they started to take those things down, I decided to take action, because I realized that I had put myself in this position of being really vulnerable to having people come and steal things from my website and my social media. So I decided to do things myself while I was waiting for this person to change things up on their own website.
Yeah, after going through that and seeing some of those, we were looking at our own pictures on our own site and being like, they could have taken that, and there's that's exposed, and there's a weakness here. So it kind of gets the wheels going in your mind, is what we could do better. So
one of the first things that I did was look up how to make my website so that you couldn't right click on it. And what that means is if you right click on a website, you should be able to download images and save them onto your own desktop. You could also use programs to look at the coding on that website. I made it so that was a little bit harder to do on my website. And I also took down all of my product pics that were just the unlabeled, plain, unbranded product, and I added a watermark across the front of it. And I also took down pictures on social media that I thought that they could also steal, because they were advertising a launch of their rose clay soap, their honey oat soap, and their cucumber melon soap. All of these products are products that I have on my soap line, and the names are even identical, which is so frustrating. But they were also, the worst part of that is they were using my pictures as for their promotional material of them launching their product. So I took down any pictures on Instagram that they could lift and use for their own marketing, which was hard for me to do because I really liked having an archive of my journey and showing where I've come from, and I've always wanted to have those pictures there as a reminder of how far our company has come. But for something like this, I just felt like it was safer to just take them down.
Yeah, it made us sad. You're erasing part of your story, and a lot of those were from really early on. So it's like you're taking down a part of where you came from.
And we are happy to say that this person does seem to have taken us seriously, and they've removed all of my photos from what I've seen, and they've changed their verbiage to be different, and that satisfies us. We aren't going to pursue anything further than that. Yeah, if they had refused to change anything, we do have an attorney that we can speak with to draft cease and desist letters, and we are not above sending those to people who decide to plagiarize from us. Because at the end of the day, what they're doing is theft. And something that I didn't know, but I found out through my research, was as soon as you take a photo and you upload it onto a website or on social media, that photo has copyright on it automatically. There's no steps that you need to do as the person who took that photograph to register that copyright to make it official or whatnot. That is your photo, and anyone that uses that photo without your permission, they could get in trouble for it. So just know that you have every right as the person who took that photo to take action when someone steals that photo. And there's also something called intellectual property rights, and what that is any type of content that you've created in your brain and anything that you write down, that is your intellectual property, and you also have a right to protect that. So people can't really be plagiarizing everything you do and get away with it scot-free. You do have options. Make sure once you discover someone is doing this to document everything that they're doing, because if they don't stop what they're doing after you've contacted them, then you'll need that evidence to move forward with a lawyer, or even to contact Facebook, Instagram, Shopify, Etsy, all of these places. They will need proof that shows that they have stolen these pictures and this verbiage from you, and that may help you take those platforms down. Even though this happening to us made us feel so awful, a part of us does have to thank this person for exposing how vulnerable we are, and also for forcing us to rebrand and make our business even better. Because if you are in the position like we are, where we're starting to get some steady sales, our following is growing, and it's starting to see some real success, it can be easy to be complacent and not want to change things and just kind of coast on what's worked, when really companies shouldn't be doing that. You should be wanting to shake things up. You should want to be leading your industry, not following others. So that's something that we thank this person for doing, because yeah, I almost forgot that the fun and love of being in business is to change it and to make it innovative and different. So yes, thank you. If you're watching, thank you for that at least. So now we're gonna go into some advice we have for you guys to help you guys prevent this from happening to you, or on what you should do when dealing with a person who has stolen from you.
First thing I would say is just be calm, be cool, be collected.
Yeah.
Don't respond right away. Gather all your thoughts, put everything down on paper, and just be as professional as possible when going about making contact for the first time.
Exactly. Stick to the facts. Ask them politely. I know it could be really hard to do that. Ask them level-headedly and calmly to please take those things down. State or remind them that your images are protected by copyright, and your content is also protected and it's your intellectual property. Remind them of these things, because at the end of the day, maybe they don't know about that and they need a little bit of a reminder. Like I mentioned, as soon as I sent that email, that was enough for them to take things down. Sleep on it, don't respond right away, and when you wake up the next morning, draft your email and then start documenting all of the instances where they copied you. Another piece of advice to help prevent that is to protect your website and pictures. And the way you can do that is to add watermarks to your product photos, or to only post product photos that have your brand name on it. So a fully packaged soap, or having your bath bomb with a watermark of your company right across from it. I know for me, it was really hard to do something like that, because I love seeing the soap there as it is, because it is such a beautiful product.
The natural beauty of the soap, yeah.
But it's almost not worth it to see that same soap on someone else's site and then passing it off as their own. So just make sure that your product photos are not easily copyable. Is that a right word? and not easily customizable. I also have my soaps and bath bombs against a white background, so it's so easy for someone to lift things and to change it up to be whatever they want it to be.
There were some photos where we did have our logo, but it was off to the side, and
Yeah, that's
easily, you can easily put a little emoji or a little heart off in the corner to cover up your brand. So
Yeah.
going forward, we're just going to have our brand logo be front and center with those.
Yeah, just be everywhere. And I know that there are definitely ways around that, and there will always be a way to copy something regardless of what you do, but it's always worth it to make it a little bit harder for that person and just to make them figure it out, because you've worked hard making that photo and getting it up there on that website in the first place. And we should not be making things easy for copycats.
Yep.
Another piece of advice is to always be changing things. Don't stick to one look for such a long time, because then you're becoming vulnerable to having people copy you. And the longer you don't know about it, the longer there is a company out there that's identical to what you do. Of course, you're going to stick to your core branding and your core values, but don't stick to one look for so long. And the last piece of advice I would say is to just move on. If this happens to you, it sucks, it's horrible, but you can't dwell on it for too long. Like, the more mental energy you spend on it, the worse off your own company is going to be. Just know at the end of the day that you are original to you, and no one can copy you as a brand. So you're protected in that sense. And a person who's copying you will always be behind you. They're never going to be ahead of you, and they're always going to be looking to see what you've done in order for them to move forward in their own company, which puts you in a lot of power, actually, and makes that person kind of vulnerable to watching out for specific product photos that they can lift and use for their own social media and website, watching out for whatever new scents you're coming out with so that they can put it onto their own social medias and websites. So don't even worry about that. Know that if you are the type of person that's going to be making an awesome brand and awesome products, your customers know that it's you, and they are buying from you because they like you. So don't get too discouraged. I know it sucks, but now that we're a few days off from it, I feel better about it. I don't feel as horrified. This stuff will happen. It's best to just move on and continue with life, and don't spend too much time worrying about it. And one last word to copycats out there, people who are wanting to do this: don't do it. It's just a horrible thing to do. That's just not a great way to start off your company. You run the risk of getting caught and having to take everything down. And I know that you're copying stuff, but that still takes a lot of work. Copying and pasting and taking pictures that aren't yours, that's still work that you can be using to focus on creating your own amazing brand and company. So please don't do it. It's not worth it. And hopefully anyone who's thinking about doing this has seen this video and will change their minds. If I can change one person's mind from this video, then I think I'm doing a good thing.
Yeah, just don't do it.
Yeah.
Be honest.
Put in that hard work.
Yeah. I saw a billboard the other day that says, "Be kind, work hard, that is all." And that's all that we're saying here. So
yeah, it's so much more satisfying to see a following that you've grown all from your own brain, from nothing. It's one of the best feelings in the entire world. And if I knew that my following and my company was based off of someone else's, it would just feel so fake and wrong, and it'd be hard for me to move forward with it. So have a clear conscience and be a decent person and do things originally. So that is it. We hope that you enjoyed this video and you learned something. And if you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you're someone who likes to copy, give it a thumbs down. And if you did enjoy it and want to see more, please subscribe. And until the next video, keep smiling, keep being positive, even when tough things like this happen in your business. Just move forward and know that you have so many people that are doing the same thing that you are, and we're all here together as a community, here to help one another, so you're not alone. Just like so many of you came to help me when I was down in my business. So thank you guys. You guys are so amazing. And I will see you guys in the next one.
You're the best.
Bye guys.